day 16 of 22. 22 days of push-ups, 22 days of talking about veteran suicide. 22, that's the number, every day. 22 veterans taking their own lives. That's the whole point of all this. It's not about push-ups. It's not about hearing me talk. It's about those 22 people who lose hope, who give up, who just can't do it anymore, who need help. They need a hand to reach out to pick them up when they're down. So that's what we're doing. We're talking about that. We're facing the difficulty of engaging in that conversation because that's really the point. That's the point of the whole push-up, 22 push-up thing in the first place. You know, it was never about the push-ups. It was never about, hey, watch me do 22 push-ups. I think a lot of people thought of it more as a way to, hey, I'm going to encourage myself to do some push-ups, which is great. You should. But really the point of it all is to bring attention to those 22 veterans. And that's why I decided to do this video series. That's why I decided to do it the way I'm doing it. And so far, we're having tremendous success. We're raising money for Mission 22, which is a fantastic organization that offers all kinds of help and treatment and recovery and resilience programs, mental health programs, feeding veteran groceries programs, just really a great organization that reaches out into the community and tries to make a difference for veterans to, try to get ahead of this thing, try to provide some prevention, or, let's face it, if somebody's tried and hopefully failed to take their own life, they're there. And we can be there. We can do all of this, either through our donations or just personally. If you know somebody who needs help, talk to them. It's that simple. I don't think it's as hard as we make it out to be on both ends. We build up in our head that this is going to be an awful conversation, that this is going to be the worst thing to talk about. And let's face it, on one hand, yeah, it's been a little depressing for me to spend 16 days in a row talking about suicide, sure, but it hasn't been that bad either. There's really only one day that I really struggled with, and if you watch that video, you understand why. That was a rough video to watch and a rough video to make. But in all reality, this has actually helped me a lot. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. I've kind of had to embrace my own issues. I've had to think about my own the ways I've handled things in the past, and I've found myself becoming more and more open to talking about it. I've found myself more and more open to talking about things with my friends and family than I probably would have been 2 weeks ago, and that's amazing. That's fantastic, And if I can do that, anybody can do that. So don't be afraid to have the conversation. We can't let fear or discomfort allow one more person to kill themselves because we don't want to talk about it, because it makes me uncomfortable, because, oh man, you know what, the next person will probably be better at helping them than I would be. We can't keep doing that because it hasn't been working. What works is you do it. So here we are, day 16, and what's been amazing is we hit kind of a lull. This thing has been moving along really good, and then I think what happened is pretty much everybody had seen the videos, everybody who was in my close-knit group of people who I had been sharing this with had seen it and had donated, and then all of a sudden I made the video on day 13, where I vividly kind of demonstrated what a suicide could potentially look like. And things kind of exploded from there a little bit, and it got shared more and more, branched out. More people were like, wow, this is something. and just in that time frame, we've raised over $500 in the last 2 days. Plus, we have our mysterious benefactor, our silent donation matcher. Again, reminder, we've got somebody matching us dollar for dollar up to $1,000. We're already halfway to that match. $500 in 2 days. That's amazing. So open up them pocketbooks, mystery man. Because that technically means if you look at the fundraiser, you can add another $500 to that. Which means we're really sitting about $2,750 ballpark. That's almost $3,000. I'm humbled. I mean, there are times it almost brings a tear to my eye because I honestly thought day one, doing that first video, I was gonna get $50. I was gonna get $100 if I were lucky to be able to use and donate for this cause and to be able to make that difference. And I thought I was doing a good thing. Hey man, anything helps. And it does. If you throw in $5, that's amazing. Because everybody's means are different. Everybody's capabilities, everybody's financial situation is different. $5 for you is different than $5 for somebody else. For you, $5 might be a big deal. I can respect that. That's $5 you didn't have to give. $10, $20, $50, $100, whatever it is. Every little bit helps. And I appreciate every dime that you have given. This right here, this is what started the giving portion of this. I knew when I saw the push-ups, I knew just doing push-ups wasn't going to make a difference. I wanted to force the conversation. Because I even watched a little video from Mission 22, very, very brief. It was maybe 30 seconds, where they kind of asked, hey, why the push-ups? Well, it's not about the push-ups. It's about starting that conversation. It's about bringing attention to it. I wanted to actually do that. I wanted to actually force you to hear me talk about it. I wanted you to have to listen, have to address it, have to think about it. So, veteran suicide is a real thing. We'll get to the push-ups, but we have to have the conversation. So I wanted to sell this. Well, auction this. Right now, $100 on this painting. This painting that depicts my first night patrolling around in Iraq. That's still amazing. I know my painting skills. I mean, I'm thinking that camera must be adding a little something to this. This is... it means a lot to me because of what it represents. The quality of the art is not fantastic, but I do appreciate the bidders on this who are willing to pay $100 for this because they know that money's going to a good cause. That money's going to Mission 22. It's not coming to me. In fact, I'm never going to touch that money. I'm not asking for shipping. I'm going to get it to you, my expense. So if you guys want this, if you want to contribute, you want to do something a little fun, right now bid's at $100. If you don't want the painting, click on the fundraiser. You don't have money? Talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to a stranger. Go down to the VA, find somebody to talk to. Somebody who was really good at that was my grandfather, Tom O'Neill. He would go down to the VA center in Marshalltown every morning, make the coffee, and just sit around and talk to the other veterans because, well, he's a dude who liked to talk. And that's one of many things I loved about the man. I mean, that alone is a big deal. I'm going to take some time out of my day. I'm going to go down to the VA center. I'm just going to talk to veterans because they need it. I've been there. And many of you may have also been to the VA. VA hospital, VA centers throughout the state, throughout the nation. It's boring as hell. You gotta, you have veterans from every conflict and peacetime situation you think of. I mean, last time I was there, I had a pretty long conversation with a guy who was in Korea, which was kind of fun because he served in the same unit that I had, just like 50 years difference. But there's a lot of veterans who are just sitting around, looking depressed. It's not that hard. Go get a cup of coffee, have a seat, just listen. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna love it. Most of them are gonna have some great stories. They're gonna be real friendly. Yeah, maybe there's a grumpy one here and there, but do it. Just once. Give it a try. Veterans aren't scary. Most of them are waiting for somebody to give them an opportunity to talk. So give that a try, maybe. See if you can the next day, 2 week, whatever. Find your local VA center and just say, hey, I pop in and just have a cup of coffee and talk to some people, or just show up. I mean, like, you can walk to the VA hospital and no one's gonna know that you don't have an appointment. Just hang out and talk. Well, I guess COVID life, maybe you do need to call. Yeah, failed to think about that part, but still, give it a try. You'll like it. So, when we deployed, we actually flew commercial airliners into Kuwait. And then we trained there for another week or 2 before we trucked out to our camp and whatnot. But the thing I remember is, I'd flown a lot before, both in the military and my civilian life, on civilian airliners. That was no big thing for me, but I've never flown that far, that long. And I can't sleep in cars, I can't sleep in planes, I can't. There's just something about it. So I knew something like 18 hours is not gonna be great if I'm awake every second of that time. And again, this is 2005, so I didn't have smartphone. I think I just bought a Nintendo DS, and I'm not a huge gamer, so I couldn't game that whole time, So it's paperback book, for 18 hours. So I bought me some Tylenol PM. I decided I was going to try to sleep, and I managed to sleep. However, I'm a big dude. And what was interesting is, because it was a civilian airliner, one of the most interesting things it just seems so weird is, you can't carry a nail clipper on an airplane, but I've carried a pistol, a rifle, and a machine gun on an airplane. So we have all of our gear, some of it's stowed below, but you've got all of your weapons, plus an assault pack full of, whatever, piled up on your lap, 18 hours, so we've got all of our crap crammed into a coach flight seat, and I'm on the aisle, and I just happen to fall asleep. What else was interesting, and I know not everybody's experience, flying to and from were the same. Some maybe flew on a C-130 and had a horrible experience. So hey, I apologize. We had a cush. So I leaned out, and they had stewardesses, oddly enough, who were just had water. We didn't have anything spectacular. I think we had MREs, and they were handing out water. So as I'm leaning out in the aisle, falling asleep. Lights are all down so people can sleep. Next thing I know, gal comes through with the freaking beverage cart, wham, right into my head. That sucked. Good. Oh, damn. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Okay, yeah, no problem. I doze back off. I come back down. Sure as enough, comes back through from the other direction. Same gal, still didn't see me. Boom, front of my face. Beverage cart. So, moral of that story: if you're flying commercial, you're sleeping in the aisle, watch out for that damn beverage cart. Alrighty. So, again, just to kind of add a little variety, I'm feeling these again. We'll see. I was smart. I didn't wear any shoes today. I'm on the concrete floor. Got a toe that I dropped a Coke machine on a couple years ago that doesn't always like to work. We'll see how this goes. Those of you who haven't seen this particular variation, it is in one of the other videos. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this medicine ball. I'm going to swap it from hand to hand. I'm going to do my push-up with the medicine ball on a different hand every time, creating a greater range of motion on one side every time I do my push-up. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22 veterans every day. We're making great progress. We now have eclipsed $2,200. But we can do better. Not just financially, but emotionally, physically. We can support these people. Talk to your friends. Reach out. Check in on your buddies. We can't lose another one.